Hello everyone, today we will talk about how to structure a 2,000-word John Locke essay. And there are three parts in the structure: introduction, main body, and conclusion. Let's start with introduction. You need to have three things there. The first is definition, which means that you need to define some key words in your title. And this part is pretty important because for a question like, can happiness be measured? Which is the first question of psychology this year. Your definition of happiness is very important for the readers to have an idea about what you will talk about next. Like when you say happiness, do you mean just feel happy from a psychological view, a mental state? Or do you mean something more than just feel happy, etc.? So your definition is absolutely important, and I would suggest you don't just take an easy way to use some online dictionary to find definition. Instead, you should do more than that. You should go to search for some articles or journals and see what is the definition that scholars in this domain would use. The problem with dictionary's definition is it's too general and does not have a subject-based context, and thus it might not provide the best definition for your writing. The second part you need to have in your essay is roadmap. Roadmap means you need to introduce the writer. What will your essay talk about overall? Just imagine yourself to be a tour guide and you're using about 100 words to do some very quick briefing for the tourists about what they should expect to see next. This part does not need to be very lengthy. Like I said, 100 words or so are enough. The third part of introduction is thesis statement. This means a very short summary of your viewpoint. This part is usually just one or two sentences, and some of you might be wondering about the difference between roadmap and thesis statement. Well, the difference is roadmap focuses on introducing the overall structure of your essay to the reader, and the thesis statement focuses on showing your attitudes toward the question you chose, your short answer. Like this year, the third question of law is, are there too many laws? Then your thesis statement should be clarifying your stance. Like, yes, there are too many laws because a very short introduction of your arguments, or no, there are not too many laws and a very brief summary of your arguments. Anyway, this part should be very, very brief. Now let's talk about the main body part. This part is the most important part in an essay, and you can have multiple body paragraphs, multiple arguments, but no matter how many arguments or main body paragraphs you have, you should have three components for each main body paragraph. They are arguments, evidence, and analysis. Arguments are the reasons for your thesis statement. And in order to have clear arguments, you absolutely need to do massive reading and researching because you need to know what are the discoveries or understandings of scholars in this domain. And I made a video last week about how to do research. So if you're interested, please subscribe to my channel and watch that video. Anyway, I just want to make one reminder here that you must carefully examine the logical relationship between your arguments. Are they coordination relations or causal relations or what? This matters because this can help you to sort out the order of writing, which argument should be explained first and second, and thus make the essay as a whole more logical. I plan to make another video soon to explain how to write main body specifically because this part has a lot of details. The second thing you need to have is evidence. When I say evidence, I actually mean all those reading materials you found useful during your research. In my last video, I explained how to do reading notes for your research. And here we go. This is where your reading notes will be super useful. Your reading notes become your powerful evidence book. When you have conducted enough research and reading, you should be able to quote many pieces of evidence to support your argument. The last thing is also the most commonly ignored thing, analysis. Many of my students copy-paste those reading materials in their essay, but they don't give their own analysis of those cited reading materials. And this is not good. This will make your reasoning not contextual enough because you always need to explain why is this cited sentence linked to your topic. Otherwise, you're just asking the reader to guess by themselves. And I don't think the judges of John Locke Essay Competition like to guess. It's your responsibility as a writer to fully explain why do you cite the sentence and how do they prove your stance. Link everything back to your topic. Last part of the essay structure is conclusion. This part is the easiest part to write in my opinion, but sometimes my students make it too complicated. They wrote too much for the conclusion. Conclusion is just a simple conclusion as it literally means. You just need to conclude two things, your arguments and your thesis statement again. That's it. A good conclusion for a 2,000-word John Locke essay should not exceed more than 200 words. Alright, so this is just a very short introduction of how to structure a 2,000-word John Locke essay. And thank you for watching my video.